Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today it will be a little bit of a different type of video because I'm gonna be unboxing this, which is the White Knights Metal Box 12 full pans. So you have these colors: cadmium yellow medium, ochre light, red ochre, cadmium red light, carmine, cobalt azure blue, ultramarine, emerald green, sap green, burnt umber, and lamp black. So those are Russian watercolors, I think, and I just came out of the art supply shop, and bought them. Actually, I wanted to bought this, like a basic tin empty box, because I wanted to put some dry gouache inside. So I bought all this like full pans and half pans, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my own little travel dry gouache box, and they didn't have any. And I didn't want to wait for them to have some more supply and to order them, because gouache takes quite a long to dry out, and I wanted to do it today so that I could take it in my next trip back to France. So anyway, and I thought it would be a really nice occasion to try out these little ones. So those are supposed to be like professional quality watercolors, and I've never tried them. The only watercolors I've had for years, actually, since I've started watercolors, were Cotman watercolors, which are student grade watercolors, and they are super nice and I really like them and I use them a lot. Actually, I've used them here just for some quick sea studies. I want to turn some of these into larger pieces, but that's another story. So yeah, the box is a little bit beaten out. I've seen that when I took it, but it was the last one they had, and it was the last one they had in any type of small box. So I was like, okay, I will do, and I really like the color. So those are the half pans here. So I'm gonna open them and see what I can do with them. Okay. Okay, so here they are. I struggled so much, but it's super nice to have actually full pans, because the brush can really go into, and if you compare this to my half pans here, you can see that they have little holes, and sometimes for this brush especially, it can be really hard to really get the paint. Like for this one, it's so complicated, but anyway, I make it, you know, it works, but it's nice to have full pans. And some paper got stuck in here, but I guess once I'm gonna water it down, it's gonna come out. So I'm gonna first swatch on this little sheet of paper that they gave. So it's watercolor paper, but it's kind of a thin one. So let's see what it does. So yeah, let's put a little bit of water and see. Oh, those are so creamy and super vibrant. So I'm not gonna do a review, like a real review, because it's the first time, it's my first time using professional grade, professional quality watercolors. And also I haven't done watercolors enough to know exactly what I look at when I have a new paint or anything. So I'm just gonna give you my thoughts and try to do a painting with it, but it's not like a real review or anything. But if some of you in the comments have experience with this White Knight watercolors and you want to share your thoughts about it, just feel free to do so in the comment section, and I will be happy to learn more about it. So yeah, they're really creamy. I was like, I'd like to have, I thought it would be nice to have, you know, kind of new colors compared to what I already have, but then I remember that I have so many colors that it's super hard to find a new color, because I have all these student quality watercolors from Winsor & Newton, and I have the big Cotman palette, so yeah. It's interesting. What is this one? Oh, it's the ochre light and it's semi-transparent. That's interesting. So the cadmium yellow is opaque. Usually I draw kind of line to see how opaque things are. Like if you look here, I have of course the information there, but I also draw a line to kind of see how it works if I put paint on top of the line. But anyway, there's the information there. And most of them are semi-transparent or transparent, except the cadmium red light and the cadmium yellow medium, which are opaque ones. So that's pretty nice. And oh, the burnt umber, the ultramarine and the cobalt azure blue are granulating colors, which is nice too, because for now I only had ultramarine, which was real granulating, and all of them except the sap green are single pigment, and they all have high light fastness rating by the company. So of course you have to kind of try out for yourself if you want to sell art or anything, but that's interesting to know. I don't remember if I cleaned my brush or not. I'm trying to do kind of a light gradient, but I'm not working super hard on having a real one. And I was trying not to get out of the lines, but yeah, you know, not really good at that either. I love this color. It reminds me of the burnt sienna from the Cotman watercolors. This red looks so bright. Oh, wow, that's a real opaque and strong. Look at that. Okay, I always get out of the camera, but look at that here. It's crazy. Never had such a bright red, I think. That is probably super nice to do some kind of mixing, I guess. I'm gonna play a little bit with them afterwards so that I can see what type of colors I can get when mixing them. I'm not gonna mix them all or do a mixing chart or anything, but just to get a first idea. This will be kind of an alizarin, I guess. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, it's very rose actually. Nice. And very strong too. Oh, and it goes into this very bright and funny rose, which is super nice also for mixing. I really like the colors I got. So this looks a little bit like my cerulean blue that I had before. I like to see also how it flows. So this one flows really nicely. It's supposed to be a granulating one, so I guess it's no surprise that it flows nicely. Oh, the ultramarine is pretty pale actually. I thought it would be... Oh no, okay. That's very nice too. Okay, I keep saying it's very nice because I find every color is nice actually, but... This one is the emerald green. Yeah, those are super bright greens, and I know they're good for mixing, but I don't know, I never kind of found how I like to use mine. I also have one from Winsor & Newton from the Cotman line, and I've kind of never used it actually. But who knows, maybe I will start using it. This is sap green. This is one of my favorite greens. It's kind of a yellowish green, but it's also very earthy, and it's so nice. It's a mix, but I really love using it, and I think it's one of the colors that I've used most in the sets I already have. And when you put water, when you water it down, it becomes this really bright yellowish green, and it's so, like, it screams spring to me, and it's so nice. Then we have burnt umber. Yeah, burnt umber is a really nice color too. And it leans a little bit towards red. It's kind of a reddish brown, which is nice. I mean, not as reddish as burnt sienna, obviously. This is not burnt sienna, actually, it's red ochre. It looks a lot like burnt sienna, I feel. And this is lamp black, which is a very powerful black. Yeah, interesting colors. I'm gonna do a close-up so that you can see them all. So here are all the colors. I have a hard time staying really in the lines, but they look quite vibrant. They are nice earthy tones too. So yeah, let's see what we can do with them. I think I'm gonna try them again with a round brush this time and put just, you know, start playing a little bit with them and see what happens. Not having anything specific in mind. Here I'm just playing a little bit with the different types of purples. So here it was the different type of oranges I could get. So that's not all the oranges I could get, but just to have kind of a first idea. And those are the different types of purples I can get, depending on what I mix with what. The cadmium red actually does some very earthy purples. I wasn't thinking it would be those kind of earthy purples, so that's really interesting too. So now let's see what we can do with this color that I never do. Oh, It's very nice mixed with the blue, okay, with the ultramarine. And now if I try mixing it with some red ochre, what can I get? It's almost like an olive green, which is interesting too. Okay, I have to start writing down what I'm mixing with what, because otherwise I'm gonna be completely lost. That's interesting. It's always interesting to get to know a little bit your paint. So let's continue our test with emeralds, and I'd like to see what it happens if you mix it with yellow ochre light. Okay, get a different type of green. And what happens if you mix it with some reds? So if I mix it, for instance, with this very intense red, oh, you get a really nice brown actually. Interesting. So now we have our sap green. Sap green is just super nice. I don't want to mix it with anything, but let's try with a little bit of cobalt. Yeah, it's still super nice. And I like to see burnt umber with ultramarine. I'm just kind of revolving around the same colors because those are colors I know a little bit more and I like, so I tend to use these more. Okay, I like to write in my sketchbook what I was doing when I'm doing some stuff, so that when I look back at my sketchbook, I know what happened and what I was doing, so that's why. Anyway, I think I'm gonna do a little painting here now. Okay, so I'm back. I have my reference. I've taped my paper. Actually, I've also just bought some masking tape because I didn't have any more. So I'm gonna start with kind of a wet and wet for the sky. So I'm gonna mix some ultramarine with some ooh, that's so bright. Okay, that's interesting. See how it's way brighter than anything, because here I was mixing directly on paper with my paintbrush, and now I'm mixing on the mixing tray, so you can also achieve it's a little bit different what you can do on both. I'm not sure Carmine was the best way to go for what I wanted to do, but let's run with that. So I had the landscape in mind, but I don't think I'm gonna actually do this landscape. But I'm gonna use this landscape as an inspiration to do my own thing, let's say. And also this paper I'm working with is just my regular, sorry, I'm thinking about how to do my shadow here. So it's just some regular watercolor paper, but not like, it's not 100% it's not 100% cotton watercolor paper or anything, so it's kind of a not low quality, but it's not a super nice watercolor paper, so I can't do all the effects that I might do in a nicer watercolor paper. So there are some limitations with this paper on how I can layer my paint, the number of layers I can put, and also how it reacts when I put some water and stuff like that. So you know, it's just some really quick sketch to kind of get an idea of the paint and what I can do with the paint, but it's not, by no means it's a review of what is possible to do with the paint and what is not possible to do with the paint. Oh, it flows super quick, this paint. It has a really nice flow, it's interesting, and I like the effects it did in the sky. Even though I didn't do anything to have this, it granulated in a very nice way, so I really very much enjoy this. And I think also I went straight with the paints I unboxed them and just went straight with them. And I think it would have been better also to kind of, you know, wet them and let them soak the water and then use them, because they are still a little bit stiff in a way for watercolors, I feel. But that may just be because I went straight with them without giving them any chance to soak in the water. And see all these places where the paint is not going, it's not actually because of the paint itself, it's because there was some kind of fingerprints or something on the water, on the paper, and then the paint just sits on top of it. So. That's a landscape I already painted actually in this sketchbook. I'm going to show you afterwards. By putting much more attention to what I was painting. The first time it was bigger size and I was thinking more, so I know a little bit the scene and I just wanted to see more of the colors in action. I mean limited colors because I only use kind of 3 colors here. I've used this pale ochre, red ochre, ultramarine, burnt sienna, and a tiny bit of black and a tiny bit of carmine. But it's mainly those 4 colors for the whole scene. Trying to define a little bit some shadows here and there, but yeah, like I said, It's not supposed to be a super detailed sketch or anything. It's just to get a little better how the colors are working. It's crazy how much places there I can't put paint because of my paper. I wasn't expecting to have as many actually. I think I'm just gonna go over my sky with some more ultramarine, just to bring down a little, and maybe a tiny bit of cobalt azure, just to tone down this very purple thing that is happening there. And I'm gonna quit this weird rays of light that I tried to do, but I tried to do a little bit too late actually. And I'm gonna put a little bit of red ochre on the sky to bring it back with the rest of the picture, so that it doesn't look like two different spaces, or that it doesn't look that it comes from two different words, but that it's actually the same word up above and down there. But yeah, that's all for this very messy, unclear sketch. I only used one brush, and the idea was not to get a final view or anything, it was just to get a little bit more to know the colors. So I'm gonna leave this to dry, see how it dries and how the colors dry. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you also. So this is the landscape actually that I painted the first time with limited colors too. So I've just used, what are these colors? For the sky, for the blue of the sky I used cerulean. Then I used a lot of indigo and sepia, and a little bit of cadmium yellow and burnt sienna for the ground. Oh, and a tiny bit of rose madder hue, which is a kind of alizarin crimson too. No, what am I saying? No, not at all. Indian red. I don't know why I had this color in mind. Not Indian red I've used. To also get the shadows in the sky, like this purplish tone is actually indigo and Indian red. And I think it turned out super nice, way better than this. Should have not used carmine, but used the red ochre for the sky. I think it would have been better. Because yeah, I could have had this kind of dark blue, and I think it would have been very nice for this kind of stormy sky. Way better than this. It actually dried way brighter than I thought it would dry, so I don't know how well you see it on the screen, but actually the colors, there is kind of a big color shift between the dry and the wet versions. But really interesting. Okay, so really interesting. I don't really know for now. Here is the little chart we've made. I don't know for now how much I prefer these compared to my Cotman. I guess I just have also to learn to use them more and to see how I can use them. And I'll probably keep you posted in another video on how I like them. So now I'm gonna leave this to dry. I'm gonna show you once it's dry the color it has, and I'm gonna think on how I'm gonna use these palettes with my dry gouache and stuff. So now I think it's dry. Yeah, it seems to be, maybe it's a little bit, the sky is not, maybe the sky is not entirely dry, but most of it is dry. So I'm gonna take off the tape. Oh, this tape is so nice, because usually on this paper, it's bamboo paper, I think, and the fibers are so sensitive, and whenever I put some tape, I always tear off the paper. So if you've seen on the last try of this, I tore off the paper, and I've just bought some new masking tape because I didn't have any, and this one is so weak, it's so nice, it works so well for this paper. It still rotates a little bit, but not too much. So yeah, here it is, and yeah, nothing too detailed or too crazy here. It was really just to test out the colors and to give some atmosphere. Yeah, that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you ever tried the White Nights watercolor, or if you have any advice on affordable and high quality watercolor brands that you want me to see, to try out, sorry, just let me know in the comments and as to what I can do. And thanks for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye!